Flight Risk is the new action thriller by Mel Gibson. The logline is as follows. A pilot transports an air marshal accompanying a fugitive to trial. As they cross the Alaskan wilderness, tensions soar and trust is tested, as not everyone on board is who they seem. I'm gonna give Flight Risk 2 different scores, and I'll tell you why. I'm 99% sure that opening shot was AI, and not even like the brutalist AI where they just used it to tweak some dialogue, like entirely generative AI. It looked like that horrible Coke commercial. And if this is the case, then this movie gets half a star. I hate AI with a passion and it has no place in cinema. However, since I can't 100% confirm whether that was AI or not, I'm going to give it another score if it wasn't. Flight Risk is a movie that has some interesting ideas, but they were ruined by some awful execution. There were a solid 30 minutes of this movie that were enjoyable and made great use of the natural tension that the premise offers. But once the big reveal is over, it devolves into a boring action flick with some annoying plot beats and weak characters. There's a whole side plot that takes place over the phone which felt like it was padding the runtime and was so boring. This movie leads you to believe that there's going to be some big confrontation at the end, but it ends up amounting to nothing. And that leads into another big problem. The end of this movie was just god-awful. It is so anticlimactic, and I was shocked when the credits rolled, because none of the characters had proper resolution. The characters in this movie are also so weak. For a movie that takes place in one confined space, usually that means we'll be digging into the characters' backstories and learning more about them. We get like 2 scenes where the characters talk about their backstories and what drives them, and then they are never touched on again. The biggest one that upset me was Mark Wahlberg's character, who is supposed to be the villain. He is such a boring antagonist, and we are told nothing about why he is doing this and what drives him. Not to mention the performance by Wahlberg lacks any real intensity and comes off as very corny. I have never been a fan of Marky Mark, and this is yet another movie that shows he is a bad actor. I also had a big problem with Topher Grace's character. He is supposed to be the comic relief, but I found none of his jokes funny, and he was just super annoying the entire time. The only character that was decent is the protagonist played by Michelle Dockery, but even that character falls into the basic stoic police/detective archetype. The movie just lacked any substance, from the plot to the visuals to the characters. So in conclusion, Flight Risk is a mess of a movie that left me so unsatisfied. There's useless subplots that go nowhere, annoying characters that are one note and cliche, and the film just has an extremely weak conclusion. Although the premise is interesting and there's a few good moments of tension and action, in the end I left the movie theater upset. I'm 99% sure the opening shot was entirely AI, and even if it wasn't, it's still just a bad movie. Half a star if it's AI, and 1.5 stars if it wasn't. Don't waste your money on this movie. It is not worth it.